I put out a tweet last night. I said he's not a generational talent. He's the best to ever do it.
Right. I mean, I don't know about you, Dan, but I'm looking at this guy, and I think we have to start thinking about Shohei as the greatest living player.
For the hundreds of years of baseball history, we've seen a ton of greats make an impact on America's national pastime. Baseball legends like Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, Lou Gehrig, and so many other guys have put their stamp on this great sport. But as far as baseball history can go, you will never find a player with as great of an impact as the best baseball player in the world today, Shohei Ohtani. It's July 1994 in Japan. Keiko and Toru Ohtani have just welcomed their third and last child into the world, and what he would end up becoming would be more than they could have ever expected. Shohei was known in Japan as Yakyu Shonen, which translates to baseball kid in English. His father, Toru, who was an amateur baseball player, taught young Shohei the ropes of the game at an early age, and Shohei's love for the game grew. He started playing baseball in his second year of elementary school, and by Ohtani's 7th grade year, he showed success early on, recording all but one out in a 6-inning regional championship game. Coaches and scouts all around began to take notice as Shohei went into high school. Shohei could have gone to any powerhouse baseball high school in big cities in Japan, like Yokohama or Osaka, but he chose to stay close to home and go to Hanamaki Higashi High School. Shohei decided to go there because of pitcher Yusei Kikuchi, whom he admired. He played baseball and competed as a swimmer, which his baseball coach Hiroshi Sasaki said he could swim in the Olympics. Ohtani lived away from his parents, staying on campus as all Hanamaki Higashi players did, and only getting to go home for 6 days out of the year. Here under Sasaki, Ohtani was assigned toilet cleaning chores to be taught humility, knowing that Ohtani would need to learn if he was going to be a big star one day. What Sasaki didn't know was just how big of a star Ohtani would become. In 2012, at 18 years old, Shohei Ohtani was a pitching phenom. He had the Japanese high school record at the time with the fastest pitch, at 99 miles an hour, and was hitting home runs like no other. His high school record would soon be broken by Roki Sasaki with a 101 mile per hour fastball, but Roki didn't have this one thing that Ohtani does. Roki doesn't play both ways. Ohtani had expressed interest to go straight to the major leagues right after high school, and there was a lot of teams interested, including the Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, and the foreshadowing Los Angeles Dodgers. However, despite his expressed interest to head to the United States right after high school, and constant talks to NPB teams telling them to not select him in the upcoming draft, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters selected him with the first overall pick in the draft, in hopes Ohtani would stay in Japan. After some negotiations with Ohtani and the Fighters, he decided to sign with them and spend some more years in Japan. Part of the negotiations involved letting Ohtani play as a pitcher and a hitter, whereas none of the MLB teams wanted to let him do that. Here, we get the start of Shohei Ohtani's professional baseball career. Ohtani started his Fighters debut in right field at 18 years old, and would split duties between pitching and the outfield. Although he was selected to the Pacific League All-Star roster, he didn't have the greatest of seasons his rookie year. Ohtani had a .238 batting average with a .660 OPS combined with a 4.23 ERA. Still, Shohei Ohtani was only 18 years old, and this was his first real glimpse of playing professional baseball. His next season would be the season that would put him on the map. Shohei Ohtani, at the ripe age of 19 years old, would take the MPB by storm. He batted .274 with 28 extra base hits and an .842 OPS. But what really stood out was his pitching. After only having a 4.23 ERA last season, Ohtani cut his ERA in half, having a 2.61 ERA in 24 starts, with an 11-4 record and 179 strikeouts, the third most in the NPB. His 10.4 strikeouts per 9 innings was the best in the league, as opponents hit a low .223 against him this season. Shohei was in front of big-time media outlets now, specifically having Bleacher Report post an article in 2014 headlining the young prospect. They spelled his name wrong in the article, but I can promise you that's the last time they'd misspell Ohtani's name. 20-year-old Ohtani goes into his third professional season in 2015 and continues to develop his game. His hitting took a bit of a decline, but his pitching went to a whole other level this season. He finished the year 15-5 with a 2.24 ERA, 196 strikeouts, and gave up 100 hits in 160 2/3 innings. He was regarded as the best pitcher in the Pacific League and finished third in MVP voting, even while not having his best hitting season. It looks like maybe Ohtani can only play one way at an elite level, but the next season he would show otherwise. We go to 2016, where Shohei has his best season to date. Ohtani kept the same dominance on the mound and even improved, showing a 1.86 ERA with 174 strikeouts in 140 innings. But it was his hitting that took him over the hill. In 104 games, Shohei Ohtani hit 22 home runs and batted .322 with an OPS over 1,000. He won the Pacific League Award for the best pitcher and the best designated hitter, becoming the first player to do so in the NPB. And then, to top it all off, Ohtani easily walked away with the MVP, getting 253 out of 254 first place votes. This would be his best season in the NPB before having a restricted 2017 season due to an ankle injury. But Ohtani did well enough to be wanted by every team in the majors. He narrowed his selection to 7 teams that included the Dodgers and the Yankees, but ultimately chose to sign with the Los Angeles Angels for the 2018 season. With the anticipated debut of the two-way Japanese superstar, it wasn't met with as much excitement as it should have. The reason for this was how bad he performed in spring training. He played 5 games in spring training, playing both ways, and he's finished with an 11.7 ERA and got only 4 hits and 32 at-bats. Many media outlets emphasized not only will he not be able to play both ways, he will struggle to play at the MLB level in general. Thank God the Angels didn't listen to them, as they decided he would be used as both a hitter and a pitcher. Ohtani picked up where he left off in the NPB, giving opposing pitchers nightmares as well as making opposing hitters look foolish. He finished his first season batting .285 while having a 4-2 record and a .331 ERA in 10 starts. However, Shohei would struggle with injuries throughout the season, being hampered by his back and his finger. But the crushing blow to Ohtani and the Angels was damage to Shohei's UCL, forcing him to have Tommy John surgery and being unable to pitch in 2019. On the bright side, Ohtani did win American League Rookie of the Year, showing the promise that Shohei could be a great player in this league. Ohtani comes back in 2019 after Tommy John surgery as only a hitter, and he has the same season as last year hitting-wise. He bats .286 with 18 home runs, but this year was a buffer year for Ohtani to get healthy for the 2020 season. The 2020 season comes around, and it's affected by COVID. Ohtani made his first pitching appearance since 2018, and it went probably as bad as anyone can imagine. He gave up 5 runs without recording an out, and experienced pain in his elbow, shutting him down from pitching for the rest of the season. His hitting was just as bad, batting .190 with 7 home runs in 43 games. But that's not what fans and media took away from this season. Shohei has been in the majors for 3 years up to this point, and he has gotten hurt in every single year. There has never been a season that Shohei has stayed healthy, which got people saying that he should stick to just one way, either pitching or hitting. But neither the Angels nor Ohtani listened to those people, and we got to witness one of the greatest seasons from an MLB player. Shohei changed up his workout routine and diet, and had his first fully healthy season in the majors in 2021. With that, Ohtani showed what we've all thought he was supposed to be when he came from the NPB. He was unanimously voted as the American League MVP, being the first DH to do so. Ohtani finished with a 9-2 record with a .318 ERA and 156 strikeouts while hitting 46 home runs at a .257 batting average. He was unbelievable this season, and it was recognized by those all over the world. He was named one of the top 100 most influential people by Time magazine, Athlete of the Year by the Associated Press, and was given the People's Honor Award in Japan, Japan's national honor. The Sporting News then put out an article about the 50 greatest seasons of all time, and Shohei was at the top with the season he just had, over guys like Wilt Chamberlain and Tom Brady. Shohei was on top of the world at this point, and he was just getting started. 2022 comes around, and the exact same dominance happens. He arguably had a better season than the last one, finishing with a 15-9 record at a 2.33 ERA with 219 strikeouts, while also hitting 273 with 34 homers. Shohei's been exceptional for the Angels, breaking tons of records throughout the season that no pitcher/hitter has ever done. He finished second in MVP voting, behind Aaron Judge's historic 62-homer season. But with all the greats in any sport, there's always something that the critics are going to say. Notice how this entire time I've talked about Shohei Ohtani, I've never talked about his impact on the Angels. Sure, he makes a great impact doing both hitting and pitching, but it hasn't reflected in the Angels' record. In the 5 seasons we've talked about, they finished 80-82, 72-90, 26-34, 77-85, and 73-89. With the 2 best players in the entire MLB in Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, the Angels can never finish above 500. That's what critics kept on saying about Ohtani. The guy can't win games. Ohtani's going into a contract year this season, and if the Angels can't win with Shohei at the helm, then he might be gone. We come to 2023, and this is a win or rebuild season for the Angels. Shohei Ohtani does what he always does, and wins his second unanimous MVP in 3 years, torching the league anytime he's in the lineup. For anybody that said he couldn't excel at both hitting and pitching, Ohtani used this season to prove those guys wrong. He finished the season with a .304 batting average, over 1,000 OPS, and had 44 home runs. Pitching-wise, Shohei finished with a 10-5 record with a 3.14 ERA and 167 strikeouts. But unfortunately, Shohei tears his UCL in his elbow again and is ruled out for the rest of the season, a month away from the end. Not only that, the Angels finished 73-89 for the second straight year, and in Ohtani's contract year, it's looking like the Shohei era in Los Angeles is over. Or is it? This is the first time Shohei Ohtani has entered free agency. So the problem is, no team knew what they should pay him since there's no salary cap. He's one of the best pitchers and one of the best hitters in the league, so it's fair to pay him like so. But if you put so much money into getting Shohei, then who knows if you'd have enough money to build the rest of your team. That's why when the market comes around for Ohtani, you only had the richest baseball organizations in the bidding. That was the Mets, Yankees, Giants, and Dodgers. After much deliberation, Shohei Ohtani decided to stay in Los Angeles and signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for 10 years, $700 million. Ohtani wants to win now and wants to stay in LA, so he chooses to go across the freeway and play for the team that has been seeking to get him since his senior year of high school. This was Shohei's first season as a Dodger, and all eyes were on him this season. Unfortunately, he couldn't pitch for the Dodgers this season, but his hitting made up for it. Ohtani became the first player in MLB history to hit for 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in the same season, doing his best to affect games in more than one way. He also almost won the Triple Crown, hitting the most home runs, having the most runs batted in, and finished second in batting average in the National League, only behind the contact machine Luis Arias. But now he's getting his first taste of the postseason as he led the Dodgers to the best record in the MLB. Ohtani's most likely going to get his 3rd unanimous MVP this year, and his postseason debut has been just as great as his regular season. He's already won his first World Series in what looks to be many in a Dodger uniform. We're looking at one in a generation type of baseball player here, so let's start acting like it. From a young kid that was called Baseball Kid in Japan, to probably the greatest baseball player of all time, Shohei Ohtani is on his way to do even bigger things, baseball or not. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.